stamps in their passport at, 5 and 7 than most Americans will get their entire life. And so we're sitting in Netherlands, we're enjoying the hospitality and getting to meet people. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, my partner Luigi is knocking on the hotel door, and he's knocking, and I'm like, what did he hook up with some locals, and has he had too many drinks? Like, what is he doing? And so he's knocking. So I finally open the door, and he goes, dude, you got to go home right now. I said, what do you mean? He goes, Trump just said, if you don't get back in the country by Friday, you ain't getting back in the country. And I said, really? And he goes, really? And so we started a process that minute. My wife got in touch with my travel agent, figured out what was real, what we needed to do. We packed up the clothes for the kids. That was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And thank God we caught a flight from the Netherlands to somewhere in the UK, from UK to, I think, London. And then from London, we were back in New York, LaGuardia, within about 10 hours from that knock on the door, man.
Yeah. Well, I was in London. I went to London that time, and what I was told then was to check out, obviously, to do the research, but Ron Pope. So if you can tell us, Justin, how you got involved in the project and the whole history of where it's got to the day, and where do you see where we're going with the project?
Absolutely. Real quick, if you guys, I see we got 200 people in the room here. Yep. If y'all will just kind of participate here real quick on a small exercise. If you're already a member with us, put a number 2. And if you're here taking a look at this, maybe the first or second time, you're not a member yet, put a number 1. So if you're a member, drop a number 2. If you're not a member and you're a guest, drop a number 1 so we can get an idea of who's in the room today. There you go. Beautiful. Thank you for the feedback. For those of you that are a member, you obviously have seen enough from somebody to realize that this is a place you can make some money. For those of you that dropped the number 1, most likely somebody on this call has invited you to take a closer look. And I'm going to tell you how we got involved. You mentioned Ron Pope. Ron Pope is he's a friend of mine. He's a mentor of mine. He's somebody that I've come to know very well over the last almost 8 years now. And what's interesting is when I got into network marketing in 2013, Ron was getting out, but we landed in the same company. And Ron has had a very successful career in network marketing. He's never been involved in a scam or a Ponzi. He's owned companies that have ran 5, 6, 7 years. He's built global organizations. He's also a full-time entrepreneur. And so he's involved in non-network marketing opportunities. And he's a very successful, very wealthy businessman. And so when I met him, he happened to be my upline. And we worked very closely together on that project, which ran about 18 months. It was a project that we invested a lot of time and energy into, and it was a great vision. But what it lacked was the execution. And I want to place that word, if I can, just in your brain for a second, because I'm going to come back to that word execution as to why it is so important to what we're doing today. So Ron decides to retire from network marketing, and he launches the Conversion Pros. Some of you may know that company. They do marketing, back offices, security, sales funnels, videos for a bunch of network marketing companies and some of the biggest top earners. I mean, Ron does stuff for Eric Worre. Ron does stuff for some of the top network marketers in the world. So Ron goes and he launches this company, which is now in like 60 countries, very successful. And he says to me, I'm going to grandfather you in. He says, you're obviously getting your career started. And so I want you to be able to leverage these tools that we're going to build out over the next 10 years to help you build some income streams. Perfect. Well, fast forward here, 7 years later, and we still we become good friends. Our families are good friends. I know closely his wife Jen and his children. He becomes more of a business mentor. This is important. He becomes, I'm married 7 years and he's married 26. Very successful marriage. Faithful marriage. And so that's something I look up to. He has 3 children, all in their 20s, and very responsible, professional young adults. I've got 3 boys. And so I've started to really look at Ron as more than just a money mentor. But yes, over the last years, Ron has helped me grow as a professional, as an entrepreneur, as a networker. And so overall, just a really amazing relationship. So one of the key pieces here is knowing that Ron has worked with all of these companies with great products, amazing services, killer compensation plans. Ron has never called me one single time in 7 years and said, Justin, I've got something you should take a look at. Justin, I've got a compensation plan here that you guys would absolutely crush. Justin, this is the best product to ever hit health and wellness. And he's worked with all of them. I mean, he was involved in companies at pre-launch that are now billion-dollar product-based companies. And he never called me, never pitched me. When he called us in July of 2019, we had spoken 3 days prior about some stuff with one of my businesses using some of the capture pages in his system. And so he calls me 3 days later and I said, what's up? And he says, I've got something here that you need to take a look at. And it caught me off guard because he had never called me. We've all gotten that call, right, from friends. Hey, man, I've got the one. I've got the one, man. This is the one. And Ron's never called me like that. So I was kind of struck a little bit. Okay, what do you got? He says, well, it's something different. It's something new. And he mentions the word Forex. And I took a couple of steps back. I'd not got involved in the Forex MLM space the last 3 years. I'm not one of these guys that has all of these horror stories about this FX deal and that FX deal and this crypto deal starting up and scamming out. But I know people that lost a lot of money. And so when he mentioned Forex, I took a little step back and he could tell. I said, okay. He said, but it's different. I said, well, you know what? I got one question for you, Ron. He said, what's that? I said, are you taking a position? Like, are you going to put your name on this one? And are you going to build a team? And he said, absolutely. You'll be my first sign up. And that was it for me. It was a done deal. I said, Ron, let's go. What do we need to do? Let's go. And that was really where it started. And of course, we got some details on that call. And then he said, you know what, let me just get you in touch with the owners. Come to find out that him and Huáscar Lopez have an 8-year relationship. And so now it's more built on, character, that people know of each other and relationships. And so he sets up this call with Huáscar and me and Luigi and John Kinnear, who is your direct upline. John Kinnear is one of the first, if not the first person we brought to the table. I believe he's the first. Whether or not he signed up that night, I can't remember. But John and Luigi and we got on a call and we met Huáscar. And gosh, that call was almost 2 hours. And I didn't do a lot of talking. I did a lot of listening. And I wanted to hear Huáscar's story. And I wanted to hear how they knew each other. And I wanted to hear why Ron felt this was differently in front of Huáscar. And so what we heard was really good intentions, a really big vision. We heard about in-house proprietary technology. We heard about algorithms, Forex EAs that open every trade in the blue. And if any of you have any Forex experience, you know that every trade opens in the red. We're talking about EAs that can predict which way the market is going. We're talking about technology that only the banks have access to. These guys were able to build this over the last couple of years with relationships between Edwin and John and the rest of the trading team, Hildo and Javier, real engineers that build software in the financial markets. And so that was a really good call. And we got to work that night. We bought a $300 package, and Luigi and I started making some phone calls. We got a couple of meetings set up. We invited some exclusive members of ours, not marketers, influencers that we knew would trust our judgment, but to connect. And so Waskar did call after call after call. And one of the key things I remember looking back now on those 4 months leading up into Panama in November was we did over 100 calls, y'all, over 100 calls. And every single one of those calls, not one single time was there a contradiction out of the mouth of Waskar Lopez. Never once did he have to backpedal because what he said 2 weeks ago might not have been the truth. And so we could just see that he was speaking from a level, truthful foundation with a lot of integrity. So we have that first call and we get to work. And about a month goes by and I says, Ron, I need to meet Waskar. Like, we're ready to crank the gas up on this thing, but I want to sit down from him, across from him. I'd like to have a meal with him, and I'd like to just get to know him a little bit more personally. Like, what makes him tick? That's how I do business. I want to know him and I want to trust him. And so Ron says, well, I don't know. Let me see if I can set that up. Well, it turns out that week, I was going to Kissimmee, which is right here in Florida, outside of Orlando, with some family coming down from Jersey. And Waskar was there with his fiance, who was about 8 months pregnant at the time, maybe even 8.5 months. And I convinced Ron to fly out from Vegas. And so we get this meeting set up on this Saturday. In fact, what was really cool was when I left the condo in Orlando and punched in the address, Waskar was like 3 blocks, like literally 3 blocks from the house. I mean, it just worked out so perfectly. So I get to the house, we spend almost 7 hours, we eat, we talk, we go over things. And what I realized in that meeting, intentions are good, right? You want to work with people that have good intentions. That's important. But companies go out of business every day that have good intentions. That doesn't mean they're scam. They didn't have the pieces to bring it to fruition. And what we learned in that meeting was that these guys had the experience and the technology to execute. And so that was the meeting when we decided to crank it up. That night, when I got back to Orlando, we upgraded to a $10,000 package, 10K, and we went to work. And when we showed up in November, now this is also very important. You guys are coming in at a perfect time. See, we didn't have live trades in the back office. We didn't know who the broker was and how regulated they were, licensed all over the globe. We didn't know what the office looked like. We were told we were going to have a regulated broker and it would be revealed in November. We were told that they had an office and it would be revealed in November. We were told we were going to get to see the live trades and 100% transparency in November. We were told that the Forex traders had real technology and experience, but we weren't going to see any of that until November. But we were asked to trust these guys and just go to work. And based on our relationship with Ron, based on our couple of meetings with Waskar and Ron's relationship with Waskar, we decided to go to work. And I'm going to tell you guys, when we rolled into Panama in November, we were completely blown away. They delivered on every single promise. Not 8 out of the 10, not 9 out of the 10. They rolled out the live trades with a web TV. They rolled out a 10,000 square foot entire floor of an exclusive building in downtown Panama that they didn't lease, but they paid 7 figures for. They introduced us to the CEO and the head of the Spanish division, Forever FX. They introduced us to the 5 pro traders. And not only did they introduce, but they let the entire group of like 600 or 700, some hadn't even signed up yet, they were just coming to look. They let this entire group have personal meeting after meeting after meeting for like 5 days with the traders and the brokers. Now, if you were going to bring some fake traders in to try and fool some people, surely that's doable. If you're going to put them on stage and you're going to let them talk for about 5 minutes. But if you're going to let them sit down with some networkers in meeting after meeting in personal setting, these guys better know what they're talking about. And every single one of our guests, I say ours, because when we rolled into Panama, we had built the power team. You guys are within our organization. We had built the power team in those 3 months with nothing in pre-launch to a little over 6,000 members. Okay. And when we had that event for 3 days, we shook every single person's hand that left that event and asked them, did you get what you needed? Did you see what you wanted to see? And every single person was blown away. From November to where we are today, this group, and you guys are part of this organization, we have gone from 6,200 members to, I think I checked this morning, 84,000 all over the globe. Because we have so much more now. We see it, we can feel it, we know it's real. And so I want to speak to real quick as I kind of wrap up the story, and I'm going to finish with why we still believe today, 16 months later, what we believed in the summer of 2019. For those of you that are here taking a look for the very first time, this really is the unicorn. Like, this is, we've heard it so many times. They're not running that company like a network marketing company. It's being run like a corporation. That's what we have here. We have a real CEO that is a CEO that has departments, that has security and infrastructure and marketing and finance and service, right? We have that. And so if you're here today and you're taking a look at this, what these guys are going to show you when I get finished is how the project works. And it's so simple. In fact, one of the new quotes that I've been using is when the value is clear, like when you can see the value, the decision is easy. And so you're going to see tonight that the value is clear. And why are we so excited about the future? It's the assets. We're looking at a company that is acquiring assets. They already own a 10,000 square foot, $2 million office. They're building an internal payment processor that is going to meet 100% of our Bitcoin conversion needs. That's $1 million software. We're rolling out a phase 2 in a strategic partnership with a broker who, by the way, you guys, is not just a broker. They are a partner. EverFX has invested its own time and money into this platform, which is going to take us into phase 2 exclusively for CFX. Banking relationships, debit card, next level stuff is going to be rolling out. And the 100K VIP club, which we can't get into any details, but I'm going to just plant a little seed. For those of you that get into that 100K VIP club, there's going to be even more services for us to be able to leverage our income and then continue to build this wealth, because that was Waskar's pitch in the beginning. Already wealthy, already tens of thousands of Bitcoin from what we saw and understand. It was about having a true purpose and being able to reach all of you guys in all of these different parts of the world, guys and girls. That's a Jersey thing, by the way, all of you guys from all different parts of the world to truly become financial free. And we are just excited. And I'm going to tell you something. I can't wait to get back out to Europe somewhere where we can literally celebrate all of this success in person. There
Definitely, Justin. Ireland. It has to be Ireland.
Ireland. I like it. I'm going to even say it like that. Ireland.
It has to be Ireland. Not a problem. We'll get you over. We'll have you anytime. We love a party here. Fantastic, Justin. But Justin, I think there's maybe a lot of brand new people on the call, and this is our biggest number ever, Justin. By the way, we've never hit this sort of numbers before, so obviously, you're something about you, whatever it is. But for a lot of people, maybe on the call new tonight, you've only jumped on the call. You think, what is this all about? You know, this is amazing stuff. This has changed so many lives. What you're seeing here tonight. Justin is one of the pioneers of this business. He's pioneered this from way back in July of 19. I got involved in this year, but he was away back in July 19, and he had the vision to jump in here and put a lot of his energy into this project. And as he says now, 82,000, 84,000, Justin?
84,000 members globally.
Yeah, amazing, fantastic.
Yeah. And we're just getting started. We're in the construction phase. We haven't hit that momentum. Last I checked, we're doing about 700 to 800 new members a day.
Yeah.
Okay. When we hit phase 2 and we start rolling out this next phase of the company, we're going to hit a momentum phase. And so for all of you that are starting, that have that mentality, well, maybe it's too late. Yeah. Company's been around 16 months. No. These guys are proof. I mean, some of you guys only been in the business 3-4 weeks, and you're already hitting these ranks. The masses are coming, the momentum. And one of the things I love about this business, this company, is there's so many non-network marketers, regular people that want more out of life and are coming. They're coming. They're starting with 300, 500. They're getting that belief system, and they're saying, you know what? I mean, I was out in South Africa, and we met a woman who won an award for personally sponsoring 27 people in the business in 30 days. And so she got up to the stage, and they introduced us to her. And I said, I have one question. Surely you're an experienced networker. Like, how many years have you been in network marketing? And she says 0. She says, in fact, when Sean told me about this, I just wanted to put a couple thousand in the market and double my money. And then I realized how awesome this was. I couldn't keep it to myself. And within 30 days, she had 27 of her friends, because this is different. This isn't one of those things where you have got to go out and recruit. You've got to pressure people. No, it's just come and look at our results, and you'll see. And so for the newcomers, I mean, just get started.
Just get at it. Just get. And a lot of people, maybe brand new people on the call, are looking at the hat, Justin, and thinking of Bitcoin. You're obviously a big Bitcoiner. Do you know what I mean? How long have you been in the Bitcoin?
2017.
2017.
Check this out. This is a. I'll just finish one more story. So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's early 2017. I think it was April. And a friend of mine from Australia do a lot of networking, and so she was somebody. This was a non-MLM friend of mine. She calls me up, and she says, "Have you heard of Bitcoin?" And I says, "What the heck is that?" And she says, "Listen, I got to send you a video. This is going to fascinate you." And I says, "All right, send me the video." And so it's that video that was always floating around with Bill Gates and Richard Branson and the dark-skinned Indian gentleman who's a billionaire in Bitcoin. Yeah, you know the video.
Know the one, yeah.
So I watched this video, and I'm sitting here thinking, how did I not know about this? It's been out for 6 years. And so I call her back, and she says, "What did you think?" I says, "Well, I got one question." She says, "What's that?" I says, "How can I buy some Bitcoin right now?" She says, "You mean like right now?" I says, "It's right now." She says, "All right. Have you heard of Coinbase?" I said, "No, I don't know anything about this stuff." So I think Coinbase at the time had 5,000 members. They've got, more than Charles Schwab today, a couple 100 million. So she sends me, she says, "I'm going to send you a link, download this app, get it all verified with KYC. Again, I says, what's KYC? So I go through this process. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. My wife is in the kitchen cooking. We homeschool. And so she's cooking breakfast for the boys. And I'm kind of running through the house now, and I'm looking for my wallet. And she says, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm looking for my wallet. She says, I think it was on the nightstand. So I get it. And I come scrooting through the kitchen to my laptop. She goes, but what are you doing? I said, I'm buying some Bitcoin. She said, what the heck is that? I said, I have no freaking idea. I don't know, but I just watched a video, and these billionaires are stacking Bitcoin. She says, all right. She goes cooking. I bought 2 Bitcoin that day at $1,350.
Yeah.
2. That was our best year ever. We bought 40 different altcoins. We rode that thing all the way up to 20K. And here's what I'm going to say, and you probably will agree with me. I still don't fully understand all of it.
No, like most people don't.
I still think, like, what is this blockchain? And I see these numbers.
What is it all about?
But like,
I think for a lot of guys, Justin, do you mean I have an 81-year-old guy, do you know what I mean, who started this business, and he asked me about Bitcoin, and the only reason why he joined this business because he wanted to understand Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant. I think it's a great education, not only about the Forex, but obviously about Bitcoin, you know.
It's beautiful. And some people might ask you, I want to give you some how to handle some of these rebuttals. Well, you know, why doesn't the company accept debit cards and credit cards? Why is it just Bitcoin? Well, it's easy. Bitcoin is operational everywhere. How many people in the world are unbanked in countries where they don't even have bank accounts, right? And so Oscar was a genius in using Bitcoin to come in and Bitcoin to go out, converting it into that USD, putting it in the market. But again, the most beautiful thing about this simple business is you don't have to know anything about Bitcoin. Somebody here is going to help you get some to get started.
Yeah.
You don't have to know anything about Forex. I got started in Forex in same end of 2017, and I tried for almost 18 months learning Fibonacci's and candlesticks and all of this. And I can humbly say we lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so the motto now, right, let the pros trade for you is what we have here. Now, some of you may want to learn. Again, we have education. But for me, and I know a lot of you guys, I just want to spend time with those people and let this platform make money while we sleep.
Fantastic, Justin. Fantastic. I don't know. I've any of the other two Martins, the other two hosts before we wrap it up here, Justin. Then we're going to get to do our presentation. So, if Martin want to say anything before we let you go.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that anyway, but we'll give it a crack. Yeah, I think that says it all. Even as you say, Justin, you don't need to understand it. You just go with the energy, put the trust in the person who's got you on the call. It's not it's a life-changing business, but it's not an amount that's going to put you on the street. Like $300 get you in. Most people who haven't been on here before don't understand what we're talking about, but you will. For $300, it's not even a business decision.
No.
But it's a life-changing opportunity to have financial security, especially in a time when there's so much uncertainty in the world. People have said it's not about the money in this anymore. It's the fact that they know they're involved in something now that actually has a future. And that's what a lot of people are coming back with.
Yeah. And they're all of you ones in here are gonna get the facts and how it works. But again, it really is that simple. And I'm just gonna end on this note. 84,000 members. I can tell you there are hundreds that I know personally, hundreds of those members that started skeptically, very skeptically with $300. Like almost didn't even want to do it. Said, you know what? I'm going to throw it away, $300.
Yeah.
And here they are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months later, and they're on $50,000 contracts. $70,000 contracts, $100,000 contracts. People are buying, they're finally able to buy their dream car or their dream house. And it really is to see so many lives transformed And that's the other thing, guys, right? Is typically with network marketing, when somebody tries to bring you into their business, what do they usually tell you? You always ask, where should I get started? And they always tell you the biggest package.
Yeah.
Get the biggest one. Get the most products. Get all the product. We're telling you here, we understand that trust is earned. It's not given, you guys.
Yeah.
Start with the smallest package of 300 and learn how it works. Get in the back office. Get on some of these webinars. Plug into the tools. Listen to the CEO. And because here's what happens. 5-6 days go by, and the guy that called me and got started with 300, my phone's ringing. I says, "What's up?" He says, "I'm ready to upgrade. How do I do it?"
Yep.
Well, I got 1,000. I got 5,000. And so it's just natural. Just get started.
Well, the guy that introduced me before we wrap it up, Justin, Martin Megan, I think he's very close to joining that 100K club. He's just about to join very soon, from what I believe. So, Martin Megan, if you want to ask Justin now.
Well, Justin, thanks very much for coming on the call.
Yes, sir.
Really appreciate it. Okay, I'm asking you now, Justin. Okay, what's this business about? I want to, should I join? Should I not join? What is your one tip for the newbies that's on the call tonight?
Well, the Forex market is a $6 trillion a day market. You walk into your city, whether it's Dublin or wherever it is, and you look up, the biggest buildings are the banks. So we already know the banks make the most money. What this company has done is they've been able to create a software that does what those banks do and allow us to leverage that $6 trillion market without having to do anything. Some of you are like, well, it sounds too good to be true. It is. Watch the presentation, understand what these guys are talking about, and I'm telling you, it will be a very simple and clear decision.
Yep.
Get started. I'm going to give you a little word of encouragement there, Martin. We got started in June of 2017. We have worked really hard. I mean, a lot of you guys know of the work we've put in. We've worked really hard, and we will continue to work hard. Like, we literally at this point can shut it down. I can ride off into the sunset. We don't have to do these calls. We don't have to build team sites and all of the resources that we're putting together, but we do it because we're passionate. We set a goal in January that in 2020, we would have 100,000 families in CFX. We're going to surpass that number about 75 days early based on my calculations. So we're going to go over that 100K. But I'll tell you guys this, we have, and again, for you newcomers, you'll understand this when they go through the packages and the percentages, but this is mind blowing. We have renewed that 100K contract 7 times already. 7 times.
Wow.
It's mind blowing. And it's amazing to see how many people are pulling in 5 and even 6-figure months already within the organization. So,
yeah,
guys, I hope that does it for you.
Yeah, fantastic, Justin. Absolutely, great to have you on the call. Absolutely fantastic.
My pleasure.
All right, and we'll catch you again. We'll have to get you on the next time. We'll have you on again soon.
Let me know, man. Let's do these once a month. Let's let everybody that comes on today. We'll do one in a couple of weeks. We'll give them all and say, listen, you got to come, and this is something you got to take a close look at. Yep. And if my schedule allows it, man, I'd love to be a part of all your success.
Brilliant. Great, Justin.
Thanks very much.
We're going to let you go now, Justin, and we're going to...
Yeah, no, they're calling.
And they're calling and let you go, and we're going to go on and do the presentation. So thanks again, Justin. Let you go.
You got it. Take care, guys.
Cheers, Justin. Cheers, Justin. Cheers. All right, folks. Unbelievable. They are.